right, we've got our second par 5 with hole number 5 here. For my first effort, I forgot to screen record it, but I'm just going to show you what it looks like. I was just going to lay up on the left with the quarterback and a Titan. It's going to be a 20% over adjustment, and you're going to want to start your before you adjust from overpower and then adjust back into a normal range with full top and full left spin. As you can see here, I caught the rough and didn't get quite as deep. So for my second effort, I was going to try and see what might be possible using an APOC and a Zerker. I didn't feel like there was quite enough headwind to try and play a big power slice up over there. So I ended up playing it the exact same way, but because we learned from the first one that it stayed just a little bit to the right, I started my adjustment like this, like I was saying, in overpower before I come back, 20% over adjustment, and then I had just a touch of left curl to keep it away from that right rough, and that works out much better for us. It gets us a little bit deeper down the fairway, but it also changes the angle of attack with our second shot with the sniper. So there's two different shots, so even if you end up short, you'll be okay, but there's going to be two different ways that we play this, depending if you catch that rough and stay a little bit shorter, or if you get deep like this. So if you do catch the rough and you're a little bit further back, it puts you basically right at a maximum sniper. As you can see here, I'm going to play it up a little bit further and go to full distance, and you want to try and land it right in here. You see the landing area is very consistent, so as long as you can get the offset and your adjustment dialed in, then that should be no problem to try and get this one close, if not get it to go in, because that landing area is so consistent. So since it's at max, I played it at a plus 20% over adjustment. I left it offset about 2 squares to the right and a little bit short, because it's crosswind, but a combination of crosswind and headwind, so it's going to push it left and deep. We get the perfect, but it still hangs out a little bit to the right. So 20% over adjustment was a little bit too much, or our offset was a little bit too much as well. Probably a little bit of combination of those two, but just some things to keep in mind as you're playing your second shot here. So you can see the second one, we're significantly deeper. So in that same spot, it's not even in overpower. So I tried to play it with just a little bit less of an over adjustment, but I think I still needed to under adjust or over adjust like slightly less. Since it's right here, I maybe do like a plus 10% at 1-to-1, because it ends up, when you're pulling it back, you're pulling it back towards medium, so it's going to play a little bit shorter. So even though I adjust a little bit less than 20% over here, it still ends up hanging out to the right. I offset it less, but I'm going to need to cut that down to probably a 10% over adjustment. Caught the great, but even with that, it still ends up hanging out to the right. So just some things to keep in mind there. Just a little bit of less of an adjustment, over adjustment, and less offset.